Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me. A couple of days ago, I actually made a video about the latest gaming consoles and essentially which should be your next gaming console. There's a lot on the market right now, from next gen consoles to consoles that have not been released yet that are making a lot of promises. And if you guys are anything like me, you just can't wait for that next purchase. So, what should you pick? So, last video, I'm going to leave a link in the description below. I went over more general ideas and pretty much my preferences at the same time and my choices as to what I'm excited about. So, you guys may agree or may not. Tell me what you think. These are essentially my preferences, but at the same time, really understanding a little bit about all these consoles. So, just for the interest of time, I didn't go into too much detail in our last video. I will a little bit more in depth now, kind of dissecting all of them. So, it's going to be at least a two-part video and go over all the current consoles available on the market. If I did forget any, please guys let me know and I'll look into that as well. So this time I'm gonna go and discuss more the next gen consoles, so to speak. I will leave some for part two, but as you can see right now, I'm on the PS5 website, and I'm starting with that, right? So there's a lot going on for the PS5. There really is. First of all, technology. So you guys see it a little bit on the screen right now, right? 8K ready, HDR technology, 4K gaming. It goes up to 120 frame rates. I mean, there's a lot over here that you should be excited about. The most unique one that at least for me, would be the ray tracing. So I mean, actually making the game more realistic. To me, that is the difference maker. Yes, obviously, I don't want to have that lag going on. Like I want it to look beautiful, vibrant colors and everything, but you do want to have it as realistic as possible. Personally, this is the difference maker as far as I'm concerned. Not to take anything away from any of the other great achievements that they accomplished here, and actually being able to bring this technology forward. And part of why, as I mentioned last time, that I'm not focusing always too much when it comes to gaming consoles on the technology that you have inside the system is that I find in these cases technology doesn't necessarily represent the console itself. So you can have the absolute latest technology if the console is not actually made uh, with the interest of mind when it comes to developers and the games, there's a good chance it's just going to fail. The best example that I can give, and which I gave last time, is think of the Sega Saturn, right? It had a lot better technology at the time than its competitor, which was the original PlayStation. But the Sega Saturn, despite all of its technology, it was a more complex system and it was built more for Sega than the actual developers. The games are not there, and when developers were trying to make games for it, it was a lot more complicated for them. So, despite the fact that the PlayStation had lesser specs, you can say, not to take anything away from PlayStation themselves, they had a great console as well. It was a yeah, it was a huge success, right? Let's be honest. Like, let's give them the credit they deserve. By far, they won that war. So, I mean, technology is not everything when it comes to this case. The games do have to run smoothly based on the system they're running. So, we know that the Xbox Series X has a lot better specifications, but will it actually outperform the games? There's a good chance that yes, Xbox is a great company and they've proven themselves. PlayStation has that reputation of being able to really make a system and make a console for the developer. So even though the Xbox has better specs, personally, I don't necessarily find it to be a deal breaker because it's not like we're not talking about a next gen console, right? Look, 8K supported, 4K gaming. I mean, you are buying a next gen console. That's one thing. Second of all, the one that I'm biggest, like that I'm most excited about, which is the ray tracing, and to me, this is the difference maker. That's wonderful, and I can't wait to see it. Here's the thing that all next gen consoles now will be having it, including the Xbox and including the Kentucky Fried Chicken console. Wow, never thought I would say that. Which we're gonna cover also a little bit later on in this video. So next gen consoles, they pretty much all have it. It's there, right? So technology is wonderful, but they all kind of have the same type of technology going for them right now. So tech wise, great, but at the same time, what else can they offer me? That's the biggest thing as far as I'm concerned. And I don't know if I'm the only gamer that feels that way. I don't think I am. There's other things that will make the decision. One of the things that I kind of focused also last time, sorry, is the look. I mean, compared to the Xbox, this is a lot nicer system to look at, especially when you're looking at the digital edition. It is a much more beautiful, sleek system. Compared to the Xbox, I mean, even last time I compared to essentially a black cereal box, which I'm sorry, but that's how it looks like. It's just big cube. It looks like something that my son would take his cereal out of. I mean, it's not aesthetically pleasing. I would love to have this sitting underneath my television as I'm having guests come over and play a video game, right? The next thing here is the VR. We all know that PlayStation has virtual reality, right? Whether you have the digital or the original console. So, since it's backwards compatible with the PS4, you are expecting all your games and everything to be supported here. So the VR is still a very real console that you can definitely go and play, right? Gaming wise, the PlayStation does at this moment have more games, especially when it comes to first party development, right? So that's something that they were advertising from the beginning. That's a huge pro, right? Why are you buying a gaming console? Well, essentially, it's for the games. I hope so, right? Definitely nowadays they are more of a media center, right? Especially looking at the PlayStation and the Xbox. And this brings us to essentially the next point, which, yes, they are more of a media center. And here's also a difference maker: 4K Ultra HD Blu ray, right? So, enough said. I mean, yes, I think that the future is not necessarily Blu ray, they're more digital at this moment. But I think we all still have some type of disc that we can put in and watch a movie, right? Especially when it comes to collectors. So, having that 4K Ultra HD Blu ray is a huge win for the PlayStation. The last thing is their accessories, right? So the accessories, I mean, we all know how good the PlayStation is when it comes to the controllers. Right off the bat, you do not need batteries to be able to use this controller, unlike the Xbox. And at the same time, you don't have those traditional DualShock controllers anymore. The way they made it right now with a DualSense, it is a better feel for it. I mean, I guess it could also depend on everybody's point of view. Some people might like the older version. I personally could not see how, but again, it could be my opinion. Everybody has their own opinion here, but it is something that you do have to try uh, for you to make a decision, right? So I do find that their accessories are a lot better, especially when it comes to controllers. PlayStation has always had, at least as far as I'm concerned, in all the reviews I've ever seen, they do have a better controller, right? So the PlayStation 5, huge win. Bad side here is the price. And this is something that I mentioned last time as well when it comes to next gen consoles. You're looking at a good $500 price. Plus, you also need an extra remote if you want a multiplayer with a friend, right? You need games. So you're not. Oh, let's not forget the tax. I almost did. So you're not gonna you're not gonna leave from there with less than a $600 to $700 bill. That's a lot of money to spend on a gaming console. Let's be honest. Next is the Xbox Series X. So the Xbox Series X is very unique, right? I mean, starting from the front, look wise, I don't know. I'm personally not a fan whatsoever of the Xbox Series X. One thing I absolutely love about it, going a little bit more down. So obviously, here's looking at their specs. I don't know if you guys notice, you have a lot of similarities when it comes to the Xbox. So, sorry, when it comes to the PlayStation, pardon me. So, obviously, the differences in specs, they go deeper than what's on the surface. But right off the bat, you're looking at it, they look very similar in specs wise. Granted, they're not. Guys, don't tell me off in the comments. I'm well aware of that. This is a more powerful system. The games are very good, right? But they keep having delays. So even Halo, that everybody has been looking forward to it, at least at the time that I'm making this video, there has been delays on it, right? Um, the one thing that I always liked about the Xbox that I also mentioned last time is their spatial audio, right? That 3D audio sound effect that they have does not compare, I believe, to the PlayStation 5. You guys don't have to agree with me here. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from PlayStation. I did a lot of research and I do believe that they do have a better audio because you do want to focus on the full game experience and not just the games. I mean, the visual takes priority. I find obviously we're talking about a gaming console, but at the same time, the audio is what's gonna do that game-changing effect, right? Um, I'm not the best sound expert when it comes to these kind of things, right? But I have found a lot of information that I believe kind of gives the advantage to the Xbox. So you guys can kind of go and make your own decision here. I'm going to leave a link in the description below. So this is one video that I noticed that was really well, that goes really well from a YouTuber called Spooky Fairy. Never heard of him until now, but I mean, he gives a lot of great information. So you guys can go check that out. But huge benefit here for the Xbox. Additional things here. We talked about the games. Look at this. Increased inventory, uncompromised performance, right? So you can actually increase your storage with a type of USB flash drive, right? You just clip it in and you just added 1 terabyte. So I mean, I wish they had this when I bought my PS4, right? I was one of the first people to actually buy that PlayStation 4 for the sole purpose of Diablo 3. I really wanted to have it on the PlayStation. So you guys may have noticed by watching some of my other videos when it comes to either the gameplay or uh, going over news of Diablo 2, Diablo Immortals, and Diablo 4. So I love this game. So I bought the PlayStation specifically for that. And I did eventually have to open it up, do some surgery, right? Remove the hard drive, put a new one. I mean, granted, it's not the most difficult thing in the world. But let's be honest, you're buying a $500-$600 system with some assembly required. I don't know. I'm not convinced. I do expect to buy this kind of product and everything's already set up for me, right? So, of course, at the time that I got it, the hard drive was less. They did eventually uh, put a bigger one in there, but the time they put a bigger one in there, to me, I kept on thinking to myself, if you guys already had plans for this, why wouldn't you just do it from the start? So this is amazing because you can just take a USB drive, clip it in, and you just added a terabyte of memory. That is phenomenal. Whoever thought about this? Great job to you guys, right? The next huge thing, huge for the Xbox Series X, is everything is backwards compatible. So I can take my Xbox, my original Xbox game, put it in here, and play it without really worrying about not working. I want to play a 360 game, which still has a lot of great games. You can definitely pop it in and play it in here. You can't do that with a PlayStation. Sorry, guys. In case you ever watch this video, PlayStation, Sony, backwards compatible. I mean, we are 2021, right? Anyways, huge win for the Xbox. I spoke about accessories before. So I haven't really been the biggest fan when it comes to the Xbox controllers, but it is very nice to see that they did include the Xbox One Pro controller in here. So it's very good to see that quality controller that comes stock with the system, right? The biggest thing here that I always loved is essentially their triggers, right? The feel of it, the grip of it. I was never the biggest fan when it comes to their D-pad. Not that it's horrible, but personally, I didn't really like it as much. It is preferences as well, but the triggers, the back buttons, that was amazing, right? So they really are stepping it up when it comes to their controllers. Um, their their online subscription, hands down, a lot better on the Xbox than it is on the PlayStation. And if nothing else, you're not actually limited at the Xbox. You can play it on your PC at the same time. So you have a lot of great things with the Xbox Series X here. Um, the main, I guess you can call it disadvantage, once again from the Xbox. In this case, I find there's a little bit more than the PlayStation. So one, obviously, the price. Exact same issue with the PlayStation. Um, you will be walking out of the store or your online purchase if you guys decide to do it like that because of COVID. You're gonna walk out of there with a good $600 bill easily. The games, I am more inclined to go with a PlayStation because of the games. That's another thing, right? So you kind of have to pick and choose and see which ones do you guys prefer. The next console I want to go over here, and again, I never really thought I would say this, is essentially the KFC console, right? So I really don't know what to say about this. I really don't. I mean, it's a console with chicken inside of it. That's essentially the reality. And I have seen other YouTubers kind of like taking this and kind of like dissecting it, like looking at the specs, how it's built and everything. And they're kind of able to determine that, yeah, it makes sense. You could pull it off. It can keep it warm. Fantastic. But just why? Right? Like, why would you want this? I mean, you know why you want to be excited about the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X. Everybody can kind of like pick and choose what you want. Uh, there's a there's like an ecosystem. There's history. There's games associated to it. You have its own platform. What do you have to look forward to here? I'm just personally very confused about this, and it's kind of disappointing because when you're looking at it, it has a lot of great specs. It's even VR ready. VR for what? I have no idea, but it is VR ready, which I can't believe. Look, remember I was saying before, specs wise, it's not specs that does everything. Well, look at this specs, right? You still have your ray tracing, 4K ready. Look at this. I mean, it's ready for gaming. Now, are they gonna make it more into a type of PC with games that can be installed? Are they planning on creating their own games? Are they gonna just invite third-party developers to come in and choose a Kentucky Fried Chicken console when you have as opposed to a PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X? I don't know. This is nothing. I really don't think I would even consider this personally. I get what they're trying to do. I would never really buy this as a serious gaming console. Tell me what you guys think. I don't know. This I don't think this is for me, right? So I believe I'm more excited about the PlayStation 5 at the moment. The the best one that I spotted, and I think I told you guys last time, I think this will be my next gaming console. So I know it's a handheld, right? But look, handhelds have worked in the past. Look at the Game Boy. Look at the Nintendo Switch, right? And essentially all this is, it's a souped up type of a Game Boy. But it's more than that, right? You can actually go in and not only play Game Boy games, which let's face it, you look at the frame of it, it is it does look like a Game Boy, right? But this is more than that, right? It is more than that. So except for the Game Boy games, you can actually go in and play other systems. So you do have it here. Let me just go in and show you guys. There you go. So you can go and play Game Gear games, Neo Geo Pocket, Atari Lynx, right? And you have these adapters, and you can just slide in your own cartridges and play those games. So, first of all, very exciting. Some of these systems, I don't know about you guys, I've always been curious to go and try out and play because they have a lot of great games, despite the fact that it was not a very big success. But at the same time, this is every collector's dream, I would think. I mean, we collect games between me and my son, and being able to have one console to do everything is amazing, right? Going over their specs, I don't want to spoil everything. Oh, look at this. Look at the screen. If nothing else, look at the screen, right? We're gonna go over a little bit the specs afterwards, but I mean, you're talking about a lot of quality that went into this product, right? Going a little bit further down, it's not just a gaming console, right? So it is like a portable digital audio workstation. You actually have built-in software that you can actually use for this. I mean, they went all out on this device, right? So it's not just a gaming console. The point is something like all the gaming consoles right now, they have them more of a media center. Well, think of this as a portable media center, right? That's something that I would have loved the Nintendo Switch to be, which, all right, fine. Up to a certain extent, you could say could be, but it's lacking a lot of things when you're looking at compared to this one, right? So you see a lot of cables here where you can connect the two, and there's a reason for that. I didn't want to show you guys this. I want to mention it after. There you go. You can actually dock it. You guys see the HDMI cable? You can take it and connect it directly to your television, play games directly from your TV as it was a gaming console, and connect a Bluetooth um, controller that you can play those video games. So you're not forced to play it from a little tiny screen here, which is amazing. It really is. If you wish, I don't say what you would, but if you wish, you can actually go in and play it with the original display, right? So you want to have it black and green, or I should say, I think it's gray and green, or whatever it is, the original Game Boy. You could do that as well. Other things that you can do with it. Look, multiplayer. You can go in and play it multiplayer if you wish to. Yes, you have accessories that do come with it. And oh my god, I never thought I would see this. You can actually make your own games, right? What other company will give you this option? And I know you guys are probably thinking, well, even if the option is there, you have to know what you're doing. Well, according to this, you don't. So you have portable media center in your hands that accepts the original cartridges. You can hook it up to the television. You can play it with a controller. If you wish, you can make your own video game. You can use it as with digital audio if you want. I mean, you can do so many things when it comes to this console, and you're looking at a price of under $200. I mean, even the KFC console, they've speculated and they're thinking that it's going to be pretty much the same price as any other next gen console, which is anywhere between $400 to $500. So will it? That still remains to be seen. But compared to something like this, which you're pricing it at less than 200, I mean, by far, this is the system that I'm most excited about. I would love to get it right now. At the moment, it's only coming out in May, if I remember correctly. You could pre-order it, but even if you try, it's sold out everywhere. So this is my next console. I cannot wait for it. Tell me what you guys think, right? Do you agree with me? Does it make sense what I'm saying, right? Um, I believe that this is the biggest and the best decision when it comes to gaming consoles because by the time the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X actually get settled in, price gets reduced a little bit, the accessories like the controllers reduced in price a little bit. It's going to take a while, and all they're not even ready yet in the sense that you don't really have a lot of games to go with it as next gen, as 4K, as 8K. So why are you buying it to begin with? This to me makes a lot more sense. Guys, tell me what you think. Am I going nuts? If I am, go for it. Tell me, what would you guys pick, right? But before you make a decision, I will have that part too, because there's other consoles that we're going to go over as well. This is my personal opinion that this will be my next purchase, but there's still other ones that I'm looking into as well. So stay tuned for that one. And again, let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with me? Yes or no? Like it if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe to see part 2. and all the other reviews and everything we're gonna go over in the future. So thank you so much, guys, for watching, and peace.